Hello, everybody. Welcome. There's a psych investigator. Hello, Everybody, welcome. There's a psych investigator. Right. So, guys, it's late evening on Wednesday, May 14th. It's almost midnight, but I'm going to cover some of the other subjects that I meant to cover in the earlier video. So let's do the protection. I like to ask the protection. Beautiful ray of lights coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I fill my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. Step into it. Step into it. I feel protected. Step into it. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources. Let it create the good, and only the good for the good people, good for the good people. Okay, so let's get started. So I meant to talk about this today also because I just talked about the whole deal that Trump admin made with the Sinaloa fentanyl drug cartel, which if you haven't watched the last video of May 13th, it's on there. But in context, we have this situation here where, remember how Trump had announced this, that he was going to make the U.S. welcoming for Afrikaner refugees from the white whatever you call it, like essentially the Afrikaner refugees from South Africa. Whites only, right? I'm not laughing, it's not funny at all. So they arrive on a US government chartered plane. I don't know, guys. If I recall, I don't know that regular refugees actually have an airplane to pick them up, but that's what it is. Okay. All right. A group, Johannesburg, South Africa, a group of 59 white Afrikaners who have been given refugee status by the Trump administration arrives at Dulles Airport outside of Washington, D.C. on Monday on a charter flight paid by the U.S. We pay for this. Okay. Okay. Of the Afrikaners, descendants of mainly Dutch colonists, left Johannesburg on Sunday night. They were seen at the airport in Johannesburg with carts full of suitcases, but declined to speak to the media. They are being greeted by U.S. officials and are expected to give a news conference shortly. Okay. One document seen by NPR said there would be food and items for the children upon arrival. It said the Refugee Services Office of the Catholic Diocese of Virginia would be on site to offer assistance. After the press conference, the families will depart for their end destinations in several states, including Minnesota, Nevada, and Idaho. Wow. Another document seen by NPR included detailed guidance for the South Africans arriving. American family members of Afrikaners granted refugee status would be asked to help them. Those who didn't have family in the country would be placed in a location that has a local organization to provide you with support, it said. Wow. However, the document stated that any credentials from your home country may not automatically transfer to the United States. That last point will be of interest to many Afrikaner applicants, some of whom are farmers and have previously told NPR they hope to continue farming in the US. By the way, I don't know if it's slang or what, but in South Africa, the Afrikaners are referred to as Boers, Boer, And boers in Dutch is the word for farmers. And is actually a very, very common name in Dutch. A lot of people call it boer in the Netherlands. The last name, that is. But so it's interesting that they are in fact boers. Okay, weird. Okay, wow. Trump also says the South Africa government is taking land from Afrikaners, but there's no evidence of this. On Monday, speaking at the White House, Trump repeated this claim. It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed and their land is being confiscated. Their land? Okay. Okay. So many South Africans, black and white, far small right-wing minority, are incredulous. NPR spoke to ordinary citizens who were concerned race relations were being set back 3 decades after the end of the racist system of apartheid and Afrikaner policy, when Nelson Mandela ushered in a multiracial democracy. Wow. Now, here, the Episcopal Church announced on Monday that it is terminating its partnership with the government to resettle refugees, citing moral opposition to resettling the Afrikaner refugees. In the letter sent to members of the church, Most Reverend Sean W. Rowe, the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, said that 2 weeks ago, the government informed them that we are expected to resettle white Afrikaners from South Africa, whom the US government has classified as refugees. The request, Rowe said, crossed a moral line for the Episcopal Church, which is part of the global Anglican communion that boasts among its leaders the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, a South African icon and celebrated opponent of apartheid. So, a US government employee who was not authorized to speak to the media told NPR they consider what is happening in this case immigration fraud. So, okay, so that's that. So let's see what is happening here. Wow, I see Stephen Miller has prepared a party for them or something. He's so excited. He has the perfect propaganda crew. Although I see that they're a little bit surprised that they don't look as attractive as they would have liked. You know, they want to be the superior race. Uh, so, wow, I don't say, I mean, okay. So let's see. I mean, we know, guys, so this is their goal. I think apartheid, I think, right? They would love, many of them would love this to happen. So is this going to happen? I actually feel like when I said the name Desmond Tutu, I see him here and he's just like shaking his head and then pointing to the ground like they're going down, all these people. And it's interesting because he does, the way that I'm seeing him here, he does not appear to be shaken by it. Like, because it's saying this is clownery. These people are clowns and they will pay their price. I'm not talking about the guests or whatever, the refugees. So I think a lot of them, with very few exceptions, will have to go back to South Africa because, like as that woman said, I said it's a woman, or the employee of the government said, it's immigration fraud. They were not real refugees, even if there are tensions, right, in some areas of South Africa. I think it's true, probably true. It's like, I'm sorry, and it's saying those people are refusing to live by rules that they have not set themselves. So they're used to having no justice, like they could get away with everything, and how things are different and they can't handle it. Okay. And it's saying a lot of them are truly very uneducated. And uh and that's that. But it's saying it's not going to last. It's a propaganda effort. Okay. Anyway, so that was this. I just wanted to show you. Oh my God. What is like it's the lowest of the low, really. It's just so small. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so Poland blames Russian intelligence for arson attack in Warsaw shopping center last year. So this is something that some of you had brought to my attention. And it's so crazy, guys, with everything that's going on. There's no mention of this anymore, right? Like there was very little conversation about this. So wow, look at this. Drone view of the Madiwiska 44th shopping center burning during massive fire in Warsaw. A massive fire that destroyed a large shopping center in Warsaw last year was the result of arson ordered by Russian intelligence services, Polish officials said Sunday on the evening of the 1-year anniversary of the blaze. Oh, interesting. I thought it was recent, but it's not. Wow. 1,400 shops and service points. Many of the vendors were from Vietnam, and it inflicted tragedy on many in Warsaw's Vietnamese community. How sad. How sad. The actions were coordinated by a person residing in Russia. Some of the perpetrators were already in custody, while the rest have been identified and are being sought. We will catch them all. Wow. Officials said the arson was part of a coordinated sabotage campaign directed from Russia. Some perpetrators are in custody, right? Okay, here, Polish authorities are also cooperating with Lithuania, where some suspects allegedly carried out related activities. Okay. The announcement comes amid rising concerns in Europe over Russian attempts to destabilize the region through covert operations. So that's one. Let me show you another one. Okay. And another one that's big is that Russia is responsible for downing of MH17 UN body rules. Russia was responsible for the downing of the Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine in July 2014. The United Nations Aviation Agency has ruled. All 298 people on board the passenger plane were killed when he was shot down by a Russian-made missile. The Kremlin has always denied any responsibility for the air disaster. So this is, guys, just to remember that this is the case that connects to Mark Rutte, who is now the head of NATO. He was then the prime minister of the Netherlands. And the majority of people who died in the fight were Dutch. The majority of passengers, including 196, were from the Netherlands. The case to the UN was brought in 2022 by the Australian and Dutch governments, who have both welcomed the ICAO ruling. Okay. In 2022, a Dutch court ruled that a Russian-controlled group had downed the plane, and 2 Russians and a pro-Moscow Ukrainian national were convicted of murder in absentia. The trio were all sentenced to life in prison. However, as they were not extradited, they have not served time in jail. So we have this, and we have the responsibility of Russian intelligence for Warsaw shopping center attack. So guys, I mean, what else it's like, yeah, another day of impunity for Russia and them getting away with all this crap. Oh, and I wanted to show you also something. It reminded me of something positive. That So here, Zelensky asks for Pope Leo the 14th's help in bringing Ukrainian children home from Russia. So we know that actually this Pope, unlike the last Pope, came out, picked a side, was open about it, and he supports Ukraine. And that's, I think for Pope Francis was really good. Okay, I mean I think he did a lot of really good things, but this is like on another level. The fact that he came out and said that Russia is a perpetrator. And if you're not, you probably guys already know this, right? One of the horrible things that Russia is doing is that they're separating the Ukrainian children from their parents. They're sending them to be adopted in Russia by Russian parents. As if you can imagine, steal the children and send them to be adopted. Right? It's just, this is technically genocide, really. Okay. All right. So then Pope Leo the 14th spoke to, after he made this statement, he spoke to Zelensky. Okay. The phone call followed the Pope's appeal for peace in Ukraine during an address from the loggia of St. Peter's Basilica on Sunday afternoon. So on March 19, Zelensky said he had positive, very substantive and frank conversation with Trump about, among other things, the return of Ukrainian children who were taken by Russian forces. Okay, so what is happening here with all the situation with Russia being guilty of two things in two different countries? Yesterday, I talked about Russia placing their troops at the border of Finland. What the hell's going on here? Okay, tell me. I see this mirror. The truth isn't, we're being shown this. This is, but justice, is anybody going to do anything about it? Is that it? It's funny, I see this almost like a cartoon of burning fire like hell, and starting to burn Putin's legs. So it's saying we're getting ready for his transport here to the spirit world, and he's going down. He has a street of hell bus just for himself. The deepest, we have to dig even deeper down the hell over there for him. So seriously, is Rute, is anybody going to do something? Okay, I mean, seriously, is anybody going to do something? Because really, guys, I know it's easy for us to say, right? But still, from our perspective, it looks like these people just get away with everything. No, it's saying, no. Remember how Putin thought that the Ukrainian war was going to be won in a few days. Look how long they have resisted, and they will win. Okay. So I still see this image. Remember, I used to see it more often. This image of Rute, they're shutting down the connections to Russia. And I still see there could be this one moment where they end the whole thing with their, how it's like, show me what is happening. What is going on with Rute? What is going on with NATO? Are they going to do something? What is going on with Rute right now? I still see them coordinating with the US military, because now we have the traitor in place. I mean, why didn't he do something earlier? I thought they could do something, or they would do. Let's say, Rosa, they will. And in the right moment, they will, I guess. I don't know if we can't wait anymore, right? I'm sorry, just want to tell us there's this, what is happening? It's saying this has been the goal of the Trump administration, and they will eventually ask for the army, right? Trump was going to go there, ask the army to go support Russia. And that's not going to work. And Putin is starting to put tons of pressure on Trump, which will push him to the edge. And so the end is near. We just don't know exactly when. And they're saying, Rosie did the right, saying, Rosie did the right thing. You got those, uh, you know, portable generators. Guys, honestly, what I have, I wouldn't call that a generator. It's so small, but it's saying, no, it's good, Rosie. And it's just it's a charger, okay, basically. Uh, like a more advanced charger, I guess. But they're saying, like, listen to what the comments are saying. Go practice, go find out how it works. Because if you wake up and there's no light, oh, wake up, in the night, there's no light, what you gonna do? You're not gonna have the lights to read the manual, then do it now. Say, do it tomorrow. So, okay, I'll do that. But that's the information here. Okay. All right. Now, another thing, guys, there's two more things I want to show you related to this. I saw this in a German news site, and now the Kyiv Insider is sharing Kyiv, Ukrainian newspaper. So, FBI agent goes public with the Russian intelligence operation that hooked Musk and Thiel. It's misspelled. It's Thiel. Anyway, remember this person, this has happened recently. A former FBI special agent is currently out on $100,000 bond after being arrested for attempting to expose what he described as a covert Russian intelligence campaign to gain influence over leading American tech figures, namely Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Wow, the agent, a decorated counterintelligence officer with nearly 2 decades of service, specialized in Russia espionage operations, and had previously been commended for his work uncovering sleeper cells and disinformation networks operating inside the US. The agent became alarmed after obtaining intelligence suggesting that Russian military intelligence had successfully cultivated a relationship with high-profile Silicon Valley billionaires, using a combination of flattery, back-channel political access, and subtle compromise. Wow. When his superiors allegedly refused to escalate the matter, he attempted to alert the public through unofficial channels. A NAC, the Department of Justice, quickly branded as an unlawful release of classified material. So the case is particularly explosive because it coincides with growing scrutiny of Elon Musk's global dealings and political entanglements. As a recent ZDF, I think it's a German channel, documentary revealed, Musk has reportedly maintained direct communication with Russian President Vladimir Putin since at least 2022. Okay. Now, Peter Thiel is also under scrutiny. Musk's domestic influence surged after his unprecedented $277 million donation to Donald Trump's 2024 campaign, the largest individual political contribution in American history. Following Trump's victory, Musk was named head of the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, where he claimed to save the government's $170 billion. Investigation, however, revealed only $12.4 billion in verifiable savings, many already scheduled contract expirations. So, while note here about Thiel, FBI's agents' claims also mention Peter Thiel, the billionaire investor and early Trump supporter, as a figure of interest in Russian influence strategies. While no direct evidence has been released, Thiel's repeated involvement in foreign tech investments and libertarian policy influence raises questions about vulnerabilities within elite networks. Okay. And I've talked about this before. It's beyond the scope of this conversation, but Peter Thiel hired the former disgraced Austrian prime minister, whose party went down precisely because of their connections with Russian intelligence. So he's not a fool. He's very intelligent. He definitely knows that about that guy. If he connected with these people, he knows who he's connecting with, and it's on purpose. Okay. So So I guess my question would be, what what is the extent? I'm actually more interested in Thiel because I think we know about Musk. Let's see here. What is the extent of Russian influence operations on Peter Thiel? What is it exactly? If I can have the exact information, what is it? Let's see. I have here a pillow with crystals. Okay. Let's see here. Guys, I remember seeing this and it's coming back to me again. Do you guys remember 2016 election, Cambridge Analytica? Cambridge Analytica had a connection they were directly connected to Facebook's data. They had, I think they got, what's the word? Permission to go into Facebook's data to kind of match the voters to their, right? They knew who they were, use Facebook to find all the information they needed. And at the time, Peter Thiel was a Facebook board member. Has always been known to be very close to Mark Zuckerberg. And this is even the Facebook movie, Social Network, that movie shows me that since then, and he's very excited about their work with data. And he's saying, in a way like Trump, but differently, he has no allegiance to anything but his own crazy Nazi ideology. So he's happy because his dream is to really manipulate populations, like into, right, this whole the manipulation of minds and brainwashing and propaganda. Oh, and one other thing, guys, that's just true too. So a few years ago, I think during the last Trump administration, there was a man, honestly, I forgot his name. He was very close to Dara Rohrabacher. You know what that is? I never know. Is it Dara? Let's see. Okay. Let's see what the name of. So, and sorry if I just go so deeply on these different topics, but it's connected. So we know that there was this guy. He was in the House of Representatives. He's very famously connected to Russia. Okay, so even he was one of the people that famously Paul, remember the guy who was the head of the House? Not Paul Rudd. What is the name? I see his face, but I don't remember. Anyway, he said, "I know two people are paid by Putin: Dora Barker and Trump." I think he said, right? So this is him. Now he was very close to a man who died in very mysterious circumstances, and this man, in a lot of reports, was talked about as being Peter Thiel's point of contact about Hungary. Now, again, it feels like I can't believe I'm like, it sounds so crazy, but there was another scandal because this connects. There's another big scandal. So Peter Thiel has always been interested in what's called the Hungarian model, which is this model of a country that is completely libertarian, where the media is completely controlled. There's no free media, and they control the entire narrative. And Peter Thiel has pushed this for a long time. It's a known thing. And so this man here, the Paul Behrens, went from fighting Soviets to palling around the Trump era Russians. He died. He was found. He went for a walk in California. I don't know if it was LA, but somewhere. And he fell and died. He fell. He had a fall, and he wasn't that old. This is from the 80s, I think, but he really was not. I think he was the most in his 60s. So he went for a walk and fell. And I remember I did a reading about this, and I saw that he had blunt trauma to his head. This is another vision that I had. But so anyway, so this is Rohrbacher back in the day, and this is Paul Behrens back in the day. They were in Afghanistan. Okay. So in addition to this, going back to the guy that Peter Thiel hired. Let's just see 1 second. Let me see here. 1 second. Let's see if I. So here it is. Billionaire Peter Thiel hires Austria's disgraced former chancellor. And this is from 2021. Now I remember that scandal very well. It was in the German press, and it was called the Ibiza scandal. Is it I never know, did there do das oder das, der oder die oder das, because the scandal. Anyway, so it was a big scandal about Ibiza. So what it was that members of this party were recorded, were on camera meeting these people that pretended to, this woman who said that she was a daughter of Putin or somebody, a cousin of us, pretended to be the daughter of some oligarch. She wasn't, but it was somebody from Russian intelligence talking to him about the Hungarian model, how to turn Austria into a Hungary-like country where they could have the same level of control of the media and such. So what I mean to say, guys, is that this all connects, right? Like this is, here we have Donna Rohrbacher, then you have Peter Thiel connected to the guy who's very close to Donna Rohrbacher, who famously was very close to Russians, and Peter Thiel was also very famously interested in the Hungarian model. The party in Austria caught, very interested in the Hungarian model, leaves power because they were caught working with Russians, and then Peter Thiel hires this guy right after. So what kind of person would hire a guy whose party like went out, lost everything because they're connected to Russians? A guy who likes Russia, right? Like it's pretty obvious. And again, I think we have to just recognize the failure of the American system in stopping this massive foreign operation. Because at the end of the day, I believe that Peter Thiel probably has an American citizenship. He came here as a child or teenager or something like that, but he's German. I think he speaks German, and he left. The other thing that's important is that I don't think he was educated in Germany. He spent a lot of time in South Africa in a whites only school, and I think I told you guys. Okay, sorry, I go on these rabbit holes. Okay, so it's like, so basically, like basically, Peter Thiel went to a private school, a boarding school in South Africa that was German, like a German boarding school where people said Heil Hitler. I'm not kidding. I have to find the reference. But there's a place in South Africa where they had these German immigrants. I'm not kidding. They said hi every day, just hey, Heil Hitler, whatever. I'm serious. So this is the kind of things we're dealing with right now. And they're saying, yes, Rosie, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know what I'm getting? Thomas Mann is coming here. Is that right? Hmm. Where? Author Thomas Mann, the mountain guy. That's right. I see that, of course, Peter Thiel knows this and has had meetings with Russian representatives, that he's totally into the whole global fascism thing. Oh, and he's involved Facebook too. He's like, oh yeah, Mark is very excited to work with you. And like basically, wow, but it's weird. So isn't Zuckerberg Jewish? I mean, does he care about the fact that actually, completely slightly different question. Does Mark Zuckerberg care about the fact that Peter Thiel is a Nazi and he's Jewish? No, it's like because they supported each other. It's about this fascism thing. When push comes to shove, he's okay with the fact that he's Jewish. But not every Jewish person. He's saying not everybody. No. He's saying no, he's the true neo-Nazi. And I feel like honestly, he has this cult. He has a cult. But okay, I know this is a subject I spend a lot of time on, I guess, but Spirit, why am I talking about this again? Why do I keep talking about it? You have to share this, Rosie. You have to make people talk about it. And look at how things have advanced back in a few months ago. People weren't talking about Peter Thiel nearly as much. Not everybody knows who he is. So back to the information about Russia. So is Russia pushing Peter Thiel to do something? It's saying they're focusing on others. They're focusing on Musk for the time being. But Peter Thiel is not doing anything against his will. He's fine with everything he's doing as long as his name stays on the down low. He's very afraid of publicity. He doesn't like it. He likes to do the evil behind the scenes. So anyway, so this is it, guys. There's just another thing that I want to talk about very quickly to show you, because so much happens in a day that if I don't talk about it now, it's going to take longer. Okay. All right. So, oh, okay. Now look at our friend, favorite person, Pam Bondi. I'm a thief. I'm Pam Bondi. I'm a crazy thief. Look at this woman, guys. She's such a criminal. USAG Pam Bondi sold more than $1 million in Trump media stock the date Trump announced sweeping tariffs. Disclosure forms show that Bondi sold between $1 million and $5 million worth of shares on April 2nd, that day after the market closed. Trump's Liberation Day press conference sent the market tumbling. Oh my God. So between $1 million and $5 million worth of shares. And it's like, wow, how does she even have the money? You don't even think about it. These people are supposedly public servants, and how she has all this money to buy all this stock is kind of crazy. Wow. So just as Barb did not. So all right. So let's see. Let's see here. So let me just ask the question. Did Pam Bondi, what is this saying? You don't want to ask, is this insider trading? I get laughs from Stuart. Oh, of course it is. What do you think it is? The whole thing is about them. It's saying it's about you come in, we crime together, we give each other shady deals. Everybody gets rich. That's the whole deal. That's what they're in it for. And it's saying she gets better deals because she's willing to do anything. She's it's like a Nazi Barbie, right? So what's gonna happen is there gonna be consequences. I still see her being handcuffed. It's interesting. I think they're saying she has a lot of money, a lot of hidden money from a lot of those. Remember, she was making from Qatar alone $115,000 a month. So she's gotten a whole lot of deals, and that's how she makes a living. She's protected a lot of criminals. Okay, anything else? What was it said? They're like time. Okay, it's time. And time, and it's also time. It's a little late. But that's it, guys. Really, it's saying yes, she will go down, but it is what it is. It's a crime syndicate. But I feel like I know it's hard, guys, sometimes to listen to all of this, but I feel like we kind of need to know. And the more we learn, the less power they have in some way or another. Okay, so that's it for today. I just want to keep you informed. There are episodes where it's more, about the historical figures, different tours, the stuff happening, the good stuff happening. Other times it's more about what's really going on. So I'm just sharing. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye. Bye.
Prayer and energy time.
Let's use this time to send energy to people healing and going through complex health challenges. Their bodies need the energy we send them. Bo, recuperating from intestinal surgery at the Mount Sinai Hospital, battling cancer and winning. I spoke to her today and I felt her mother telling me she will survive and thrive. Cecilia, her sister, visits her daily. Cecilia is herself also battling cancer and she's also winning. Bella is also undergoing cancer treatment. Let's envision her pain free and 100% cancer free. Treatment. Let's send Bo, Cecilia, and Bella energy. Bo, Cecilia, and Bella are fully healed, full of energy, cancer free, and proud to tell this story of great health and recovery. Okay, so just going to be silent for a bit as I send them energy right now. And I hope you do the same. And also, you can think of others that you know, your loved ones, someone that you feel may be in need of energy, and focus on them. Okay? Okay, so let's start. I'll be silent here for a little bit. Thank you again. Let's create this circle of energy around them. And so it is.